When a stranger approaches you at a supermarket, they would either compliment you on your outfit, ask for your opinion on a certain thing, or casually engage in small talk after maintaining eye contact. For a woman named Lana, however, she was interrupted by a stranger for an entirely different reason, and it was something that ultimately caught her off guard. The stranger told her she was pregnant. Lana didn't expect to hear that, much less at such a hard time in her life, although the stranger who told her that wouldn't need to know. Or maybe she did. Be that as it may, that afternoon changed Lana's destiny and that of her family forever. Lana is a 32-year-old young woman happily married to Scott, the love of her life. Lana and Scott met in college while she was in her second year of law school and Scott was finishing his fine arts degree to become an art teacher. All their dreams have since come true. They were married in a beautiful family ceremony in North Carolina and soon after moved into their new home, a beautiful custom-built home in the middle of nature where they planned to raise a big family, or at least that was their intention. Lana and Scott's life was happy and full of success for both of them professionally and personally. They had good jobs, loved the place where they had decided to live, and always had their friends and family close by for anything. They were well loved and felt blessed for it. But something was missing. Lana and Scott knew it. They knew it when they met, and they confirmed it when they got married. They wanted children. The more, the better. It was their greatest wish, and they set out to look for their first child a year after the wedding. But with no luck. It's not your fault, Lana. Maybe this is our destiny, to settle for just being us. I love you. I don't need anyone else. I love you too, but I need more, Scott. It's not that you're not enough. Don't get me wrong. You're my whole world. But something inside me is telling me to be a mother. I need to fulfill that wish to feel happy at all. I want to be the mother of your child, Scott. Please, don't give up. Don't let hope die. I won't give up, Lana. I promise. Tell me what you want to do and we'll do it. Anything, really. We'll fight together to the end. And so they did. They put themselves in the hands of the best doctors and began several fertility treatments with which to fulfill their desire to become parents. Lana stayed strong during the whole process and Scott accompanied her in each of the sessions. There was many months, and there were also moments when they thought that they would never really become parents. The IVF attempts failed to bear fruit, and Lana had up to 5 miscarriages during the first 3 months of pregnancy. Nothing seemed to work, and with each loss, she felt like she was losing a child, but not hope. How do you feel so much pain with each attempt? Watching you suffer as you lose our potential baby breaks my heart. Really, we can't go on like this. Rest. Your health is very important. Scott, I know that God will bless me with a child and that all my miscarriages are part of a bigger plan, something we can't yet understand. Have faith, my love. I feel strong, but I need you by my side. Just one more time, Lana. Promise me. I promise, then we'll rest. They tried again. A new fertility treatment and a new waiting time, until finally the miracle happened. One cold and rainy November morning, Scott and Lana received the best news. You're pregnant again! Congratulations! The fetus is growing strong and everything indicates that this time it will not be a risky pregnancy. Your tests are perfect, Lana. You'll be able to live a normal life during the whole pregnancy. Although we will monitor you anyway, we must not let our guard down knowing that you have had so many miscarriages. You don't know how happy you make us, doctor. It's a miracle, said Scott in tears as he hugged his wife, who was also crying with joy and caressing her belly. The pregnancy went like any other pregnancy. There were no complications of any kind, and Lana was full of energy and vitality. She worked in her office until she was 7 months along, and during the last 2 months before the baby was born, she spent her time preparing her room and buying everything she needed for when her son was born. Scott and she decided not to wait to find out the sex of the baby. It would be a boy they would name Luca Kai, and he would be born during the first week of August. That child would be like a ray of sunshine in summer. He would bring light into their lives so that darkness would never again reign. But fate didn't want that to happen either. Luck once again turned its back on the couple, and the baby they had been waiting for so long was born lifeless due to complications during delivery. We regret to inform you that we were unable to save the child's life. His heart wasn't strong enough, and although we did everything possible, we couldn't prevent his death. We deeply regret this. Our condolences are with you. Those were the words of the doctor who assisted Lana during the delivery. Scott hugged his wife very tightly that day, and they mourned together the loss of what was to be their first and quite possibly only child. Lana still remembers that summer day when the sun stopped shining and her life was plunged into absolute darkness. That's why she found the situation she just experienced while shopping for flowers in a store so surreal. After all her pain and accepting that the dream of becoming a mother was impossible, a stranger arrived to tell her that she was wrong. How could that be possible? He didn't know her at all, yet he looked her in the eye like a friend who has known you all your life. "I'm a psychic medium," the woman revealed. "I was just wondering, this may sound confronting, but have you taken a pregnancy test lately?" Her voice was serene and she didn't sound like a lying woman. She seemed like someone straightforward who wanted to help her. That stranger told her without a hint of doubt that she was pregnant again, and Lana wanted to believe her, but she didn't want to suffer again. Her heart couldn't take it, and neither could her husband's. She didn't want to put him through that again. Lana was taken aback by her question. Having another child was the last thing on her mind. She was still grieving. "No, I actually just lost my son, so it's the last thing on my mind to get pregnant again so soon," she replied. Lana was grieving for her baby boy. Thus, the thought of getting pregnant again was not at the top of her priority list. In fact, it may take her a while for some to be ready to even think about having a child again. One of the ways she managed to overcome her grief for her baby was through social media. The psychologist who treated Lana and her husband advised her to communicate with the rest of the world and openly share her story. "Who's going to care that I lost my baby? The world already has too many problems to care about." The world has just as many problems as you do, Lana. There are millions of people out there, and every one of them is going through something just like you. And maybe a lot of other women are in a situation like yours and need to talk about it. Talking about our feelings is healing. Don't stop trying. Lana finally decided to open an Instagram account and started making live videos talking about her whole experience, from miscarriages to Luca Kai's birth. Through her social media, Lana revealed her beautiful angel son Luca Kai was born sleeping on August 5, 2022. She mourned the loss for months, constantly visiting his grave after they had laid him to rest. Surprisingly, Instagram provided her with a large community of women who were also grieving the loss of a child or miscarriage, something that helped her feel better and move on with her life. Every week, she would go to Luca Kai's small grave to bring him flowers and tell him what she had done or explain how she felt. "My son, even though you're not here with me, I have never stopped feeling you. I know that wherever you are now, you're free and happy. I imagine you like this so that I can continue to live and give meaning to my life, just as I imagine all other possible siblings who could not be born." That routine was saving his life, a life in which there was no room for another pregnancy, not until the moment that woman uttered those words, turning her whole universe upside down. The mysterious woman did not continue to insist after Lana's reaction. She didn't want to make her more uncomfortable, but she said something else that she couldn't ignore. "If you don't believe me, take a pregnancy test. Please, do. I'm not lying to you. You're pregnant, Lana." The woman's conviction was more than enough to convince her to buy several pregnancy tests before leaving the store and driving home. When she got home, Lana wanted to share what had happened to her with the rest of the world. She needed to explain it to feel like it was real and recorded a live video narrating what happened in the supermarket. In the clip, she turned to the side to show her profile, maintaining that she didn't look pregnant at all. However, as she had been feeling unwell for a couple of days, she began to realize that she might be pregnant. Despite the thoughts running through her head, Lana kept telling herself that the test was going to come back negative. She stared at it for a couple of minutes, waiting for the lines to appear until she raised her head in disbelief. "I thought I was going to test negative," she said in shock. The woman at the supermarket had been right all along, and she couldn't believe it. Lana started crying and said she had to call her husband to tell him everything that had happened. Scott couldn't believe her. He thought it was some kind of hallucination caused by grief and sadness, but Lana convinced him. She insisted that she didn't know the woman in the supermarket, but that she was absolutely right about her situation. She showed him all the pregnancy tests she had taken, and they all had come back positive. "We're pregnant, Scott, with no help from any doctor. This baby is ours, and no one else's. It's a miracle." "I can't believe it, honey. It's unbelievable. I love you." Now Lana and her partner are awaiting the arrival of their rainbow baby. At the time of this writing, she was in her 3rd trimester of pregnancy and taking things one day at a time until they were ready to reveal the sex of their child. After all they had been through before, Lana decided to have an early ultrasound. She didn't want to wait any longer to find out how the fetus was doing, but what the ultrasound revealed was even more incredible. Surrounding her baby were 6 more black circles, which to this day she calls her guardian angels. Mr. and Mrs. Scott, I have some amazing news to tell you that I hope will make you very happy. You are expecting sextuplets. There are 6 little babies inside you, Lana. Excuse me, did you say 6? How is that possible? We couldn't have children and all of a sudden we're going to be parents of 6? Scott said to her as he kept looking at the ultrasound screen. Miracles, sir. That's how they happen. Indeed, Scott and Lana were eventually parents to 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. On the day of the children's birth, Lana was the happiest woman in the world. She couldn't believe what had happened. Her dream of being a mother had come true, and she didn't have 1 baby, she had 6. She and Scott were so happy with their new family. Several months later, while Scott and the grandmothers were at home taking care of the 6 newborns, Lana decided to get some fresh air and take a walk to go shopping for diapers at the supermarket. It was the same supermarket where the psychic woman told her she was pregnant. Lana wanted to see her again and thank her, even though deep down she didn't understand anything that had happened. She went into the supermarket and asked the salesgirls about the mysterious psychic woman who told her she was pregnant. "Don't you remember her? She was talking to me right here and you were working that day. I saw you in the aisles." "I remember you. I remember because you were very sad and distressed, although the truth is, I didn't see you talking to anyone. We were alone that afternoon. It was raining hard and it was cold. People didn't leave the house because on TV there was a warning of a very strong storm." "We were alone? No way. A woman spoke to me in this hallway, right where you are now." "Ma'am, please listen to me. There was no one else in the store that day. I swear to you." Lana didn't understand anything. Had it all been her imagination? But that woman told her she was pregnant, and she was. What she felt was real. It couldn't all be a figment of her mind. She decided to stop thinking about it and go home to her family. She needed answers, but she had something more important to worry about in her life. Her greatest joy was her children and her husband. She didn't need anything else. When she got home, the TV was on and the news was on. Lana didn't usually listen to TV, but there was one news item that caught her attention and she couldn't ignore it. Today marks the 20th anniversary of the death of famed medium Olivia Williams. Those who knew her continue to flock to her grave on this special fan day to pay heartfelt tribute to North Carolina's most respected witch. Above the caption was a small photo of the woman. It was the woman from the supermarket, the medium who told her she was pregnant. She'd been dead for 10 years. Lana couldn't believe it. She didn't know what to think or what to do. She kept listening to the news to find out more, and then she understood. Olivia died under tragic circumstances while giving birth to her 6 children. She was pregnant with sextuplets, but given her advanced age, she was 41 at the time of delivery, and being a risky pregnancy, she was unable to make it through the delivery. None of the children managed to survive. It was something really sad that continues to shock her family and friends. That mysterious woman died giving birth to her 6 children. And now, after she told her she was pregnant, Lana had given birth to 6 precious children. It couldn't be coincidental. That woman communicated with her. She hadn't imagined it. She felt it. At the end of the news, Olivia's sister, a beautiful woman who looked very much like her and who would have been in her 60s, came out to speak. What she said was something Lana will never forget. "My sister was a special woman. Anyone who knew her knew that. She was never gone. Maybe her body, but her spirit? Never. Her powers were above all that. She always came back when she thought it necessary. She never left alone those who needed it. I am her sister, and though I miss her, I know she is with me every step I take. Thank you." Her children are the miracle Olivia Williams couldn't have. Somehow, that woman wanted to give her the blessing of being a mother and fulfill what she was not able to do. Just as that woman on television had said, somehow she had sought her out to let her know that her greatest wish would be fulfilled. She had chosen her out of millions of women to have the children she was unable to have. After much thought, Lana decided not to share all that information with anyone else. Whatever happened that day, it was clear that only she had to know. Her children and family were a gift from heaven. She'd always felt it, but now she knew it. And she would not fail in her mission to care for them and love them until the end of her days.